Welcome to Grays Harbor. Hey, if anyone from California wants some rain, I am more than willing to share. Just come pick it up. Time to do fun stuff. Cool stuff. Unloading a Cadillac the easy hard way. Yeah. Well, what flavor of well-seasoned yard art is this now? Look at all of that car. Look at the pokey bits. Look at that stuff. You smell this picture? I bet some of you can. The private moss farm we're feasting our eyes on today is a 1961 Cadillac, two-door hardtop. It might be a Coupe de Ville, but all the important identifying pieces are missing. Now, I will be the first to tell you I don't know anything about Cadillacs. Okay, that's not entirely true. I did own a 72 Fleetwood last year, which I had maintained for the previous owner for some time. So I know a little bit about 472s and about big smoky burnouts. I also know that limousines are cool, but that's beside the point. My friend Josh, on the other hand, knows quite a bit about Cadillacs. He knows that he likes them, and he knows that he can't pass up one that's almost free. As a matter of fact, about a month ago, he bought a 57 Cadillac, which is unfortunately missing any semblance of drivetrain. Then he found a drivetrain. It just happened to come attached to this behemoth. Okay, another thing I know about Cadillacs, they're not small. In fact, full-size GM products like this were the tow rigs of choice back in the 60s and 70s. Look at that heavy-duty hitch. That looks tougher than what's on, well, that. Will this abandoned Cadillac from the junkyard saved from a property under trees run again after a gazillion years? Yeah, pretty sure it will. Of course, I say that, but I haven't even opened the hood yet, and it kind of looks like it's going to be a bit of an operation. According to the seller, this last ran and moved 6 years ago. That doesn't sound very challenging. The license plate says in 2012, it was still legal to drive on a road. Then you look at things like this, and, well, this, and this, and all of that. And you start to wonder if someone might be pulling your leg. The level of moss is impressive. Rather inconveniently, there's no front seat. The seller said, "Oh, I think it's in the trunk." Well, how could it be in the trunk? There's an almost perfect, but flavored back seat. And the rest of it's in the trunk. Maybe we can bungee cord it in the front. It does look like all of the trim that was ripped off for no reason is probably present and accounted for. Look at this. Crazy. It's almost like GM knew how to make cars. I really like this window shape. In fact, I really like a lot of the angles on the 61 Cadillac. I like the pokey fins. They're very similar to the 59 to 61 era Chrysler cars, although those fins were that way. The car looks really naked without the bumpers on it. When it showed up, I figured things like the taillights were missing. I did not know that they actually mount to the bumper, and they're right there. A lot of cool little details on this car, and a lot of single-year stuff. It's almost like the company that built it had money, unlike some manufacturers I could mention. Oh, good. Bees! Did you know Cadillac hoods are really heavy, especially without springs. You know, I'm already starting to regret this. Also, 61 Cadillac grills are sharp. Well, I solved the hood problem. That's a good start. This is a Cadillac 390. It's basically an enlarged version of the original Cadillac overhead valve V8, the 331, which was released in 1949. This thing stuck around until 62. In 63, they redesigned it, lightened it a little bit. And in 68, they scrapped the whole thing. Went to the 472. For some reason, there are spark plug wires missing. The good news is, it's a socket-style cap, like a Chrysler, so I have spares. I've actually done a head job on one of these engines now that I think about it, albeit in the newer 64 version of this engine. Similar animal though. Well, the crank does that thing we like, so that's good. And it certainly looks like oil. Smells like oil too, and there's plenty of it, so we'll just put that back in. Those are new Champion plugs. I'm starting to think this is going to be too easy. The story is not so great in here. However, there's some coolant in there, so that's good news. Okay, I'll tell you what, they made connecting fuel to this thing way too easy. The pump is right here. Must be run on some crazy rod coming up from the cam. Sorry, Chevrolet. I need my trusty temporary fuel system back. And I need a battery. This one isn't what I would describe as good, but it does seem to kind of take a charge. No fire yet. That's disappointing. I've only just noticed this thing has a one-wire upgrade. Also, it's an interference installation. So is this cooling line. At least they put a little piece of rubber on it. That's good. The bees are back. Hey, magic just happened. They just decided to come on. Well, whatever happens, it's pretty much restored. Well, the relay clicks. Why does every GM I ever have to work on never have keys? Found more smells. I got ceiling pieces on my nice clean hat. Lovely. Well, I did the ignition switch delete, and we've got signs of life. Even better than that, we got an engine that turns, although not happily. What do you suppose the firing order is for a Cadillac V8? I'm gonna go ahead and guess it's 18436572. If I were smart, I'd go get the shop vac, but it's up in the boat and it's heavy. Maybe if this thing fires, I'll give it the cleaning it deserves. Although, having said that, there's like an 800% chance I'm gonna have to pull that cap and scrub the points anyway. Oh well. Here's a handy little trick. If you're trying to figure out what wire is where, I look and see which way they're pointing. Say you're, in a van or stuck over there and you can't see all the cylinders. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. That usually helps narrow it down. Okay, everything I just said is correct, but this distributor turns backwards. So it's 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. Whatever. Okay, after some minor science, we got this. Nice. Something tells me I'm gonna need to file some points and find a good battery. Man, wearing my clean hat today was a mistake. Given the appearance of the rest of this thing, it's way too clean under here. Figuring out your ignition situation with points is as easy as finding a flathead screwdriver and stabbing it in there to look for sparks, which we have. So there's definitely power and a happy coil. Now I gotta figure out how to clean them. Why are the screws always loose in this style of rotor? Don't know. but we'll fix that. Unfortunately, the guts in these General Motors distributors are huge. Not quite as huge as the rotor, but still quite large, so still can't reach in there with a file. I gotta bump the motor over again. Luckily, it turns really easy. Okay, not that easy. If you're finding it hard to see what's going on here, yeah, me too. Even getting to this far was difficult, but if you can see in there now, every time I open the points, there's a spark in them. That means we should be good here. The next step is crank it over and make sure it sparks every time. Oh yeah, buddy. Okay. Assuming there's no other weird stuff happening in your electrical system, here's another way to make sure your ignition is actually working. Coil's grinding through the points. This isn't 100%. The points have to be closed for it to work, but you hear there's actually now a spark in there. That's a good sign. I did allegedly get some tree parts down in the carburetor. I blew them out, it's fine. I also unstuck the choke. Haven't dumped fuel in it yet. Let's see if magic happens. Well, that wasn't magic. Fuel pump isn't doing anything yet. I was hoping it would just magically work, so I dumped 3.5 gallons down the carburetor, and yeah, that's what I expected. Now it's working. Yep. Let's see if it'll pump fuel. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Too easy. Linkage is really firm. Okay, that would have been a bit much to ask for. Restart? Oh. Oh. Why you gotta be like that? More choke usually solves that problem. Ah. Sounds like it was parked yesterday. Bit of smoke, but I think it's just stuff burning off. Uh-oh, that's sticky. Okay. Guess we needed some lubricant. Now do you want to do that thing? Okay. Yep, too easy. Guy, it's even charging. Of course, it's a one wire, so I'd be concerned if it wasn't. Didn't want to run it anymore without topping up the magical cooling juices. Well, I decided the shop vac's way too heavy, so I just scooped a bunch of that out by hand. So if it catches on fire, it'll just be a little fire. I also unstuck the throttle. Oh, I also accidentally fixed the heater, which is probably just gonna make bad smells, so we'll leave that off. Let's see what happens when we hit the key now. All right. Aw. Again? There we go. What an absolute unit. Whatever. The other setup was getting inconvenient, so I made a new key. Some viewers may find this entertaining, but not surprising. The brake pedal does something. It makes hissing noises underneath the car. These old school screw caps on BrakeMaster cylinders are always seized. Even plastic ones apparently, but I got it to go. Barely. Where did it go? I think we all know how futile this is, but a man can dream. Bloop. Huh, that's weird. This actually kind of smells like gas. Huh. I accidentally made the choke work. Well, might as well borrow everything else of value. Yeah, not bad. Admire the professional fuel system installation. Also, I got gas on my phone. There we go. Solve the seating problem. I actually fixed the fuel gauge on accident. Huh. I got the key in. Let's see what happens with the choke now. Ooh, ah. Yep. Stubborn hunk of garbage. Ah. Wow. Do I even want to know if the transmission does stuff? Oh God, it does. Well, maybe now I can get the cap out from under the car for the brake master. Whee! Just a happy little burning mouse house. That's all good. Oh, come on. Oh, right, it goes that way. That is a nice sounding motor. Yeah, did the old close the choke and rev it trick and got the idles knocked free. I think it's even got an accelerator pump sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Idle fuel is still only a sometimes proposition. Also, the battery died again. Luckily, the jump box had just enough pump left. Look at that! A working temperature gauge! I don't believe it. Oh, if you could smell this. It's tremendous. Cadillacs are so fancy. This thing has power windows. It might even work if I can find a switch or something. Well, that one won't work. Oh, here we go. The epitome of luxury. The crank out wing window. Smoker special. Well, I'd love to go up there and work on the idles again, but it won't idle, so I can't leave the accelerator pedal. If it dies again, I don't know if it'll start, because batteries. Yep. Oh. It has become apparent to me that the nature of the problem is not what I thought. Also, why is it smoking from there? Huh. The idle screws were only out one turn, so I put them out two, and now it idles. Interesting. Yeah, that's more like it. Something tells me this thing won't go nearly as far in a gallon as the Power Wagon will. That's just because flatheads are magic. It's entirely possible I allegedly ran over the cord for the power probe, but that's fine. Yeah, it's something like 4.5 pump brakes, maybe. Well, the level of safety is off the chart. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of an exhaust dragging situation. It's fine. I fixed it. It's fixed now. Looks like a roadworthy daily driver to me. As long as that can stays put. Well, there, I restored that too. Obviously. nothing to it. The brakes went away! Obviously it throws 2 strips of rocks, why wouldn't it? You know, one of my favorite features on these old Cadillacs is the parallel parking curved sight window. That's really handy, you know, these are big cars. Look at that beautiful land yacht. Man, I thought it was cool when I first saw it, but now that it does that stuff, I think it's even cooler. Well, there you go, a barn find, junkyard rescue, revival, restoration, first drive in 700 years cold start video. Yeah, it was way too easy to get this thing running. Pretty much scrub the points and dump a little gas down it. That's a solid engine. It's going to work really well in Josh's 57. Maybe we'll even see that on the channel someday. It might be a long time from now, but it could happen. Meanwhile, there's this whole thing. I mean, it's rotten, but it's not the worst. I could think of several cool engine swaps to make this thing be a car after that 390 gems plucked out of it. If that's something you actually want to see, feel free to let me know. It's still got the wrong badge on it, so, you know, probably rather do Charger stuff, but hey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit all the buttony thingies and tell me what you think. We rolled over 1,100 subscribers last night. So thanks, guys. Stick around. More cool stuff coming. Oh, I can't believe this. I forgot my coffee cup. Got rained in, but that's fine. You know, I'd really like to get this driveway redone one of these days, but it's probably just going to get ruined. So what's the point?